That's really quickly. So I don't think that's really a reason not to use a non-mainstream language. The company didn't work, I think, for unrelated reasons. I think just the idea wasn't that strong. But we also chose Ruby for Stripe. So I don't know. I think maybe the gains were not quite as large as I hoped.
And was your Smalltalk enthusiasm shared by the acquirers of the startup? And what was the dynamic? Was there like this blissfully ignorant management that foisted this Smalltalk code base on a bunch of unsuspecting developers that were then kind of like piling it over, Or what was the dynamic between the programmer's management, sort of, what happened to that Smalltalk code base?
Yeah.
Does it still live on somewhere?
I wish, I'm 99% sure the answer to that is no. The company that acquired us, it was mainly a talent acquisition, so the code base itself was less relevant.
Okay, and it was immediately sort of just gone?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I've also heard that one of your earliest programming projects was working on an AI bot written in Lisp.
True.
And it was something like it was a client for MSN.
Yeah, I know where you found that, but that is true.
I heard that you got kind of nerd sniped by the idea of trying to get it to pass the Turing Test.
Yes.
And I'm curious, what did you miss? Why didn't you make ChatGPT? Maybe a little bit more seriously, how did it work, and what was the state of neural networks at the time, and did you consider using any antecedents to the technology we use today?
Yeah, so that was the project. It was a little critter that used MSN Messenger, which was all the rage at the time. I guess that's like maybe a specific kind of sedimentary layer in the chronology of different instant messaging solutions, and probably dates me quite precisely. And it was a really simple Bayesian next word predictor. Like there was nothing really that sophisticated there. To the extent there was anything sophisticated, was maybe that it used, like the training data was the conversations. It itself had an MSN Messenger rather than kind of general text corpora. And it worked reasonably well. And better versions looked a couple of words ahead and what have you. And it never really passed the Turing test where people have actual suspicion. They're trying to exercise this discernment, but it certainly passed some weaker version of the Turing test where they were unsuspecting, and people ended up having quite lengthy conversations with it. And that was part of how I discovered Lisp. And I remember Paradigms of AI Programming by Peter Norvig being a really formative book and had all sorts of interesting approaches there. It didn't